Coppers, transfer, Carter!
It's a long one today. Do you know what? As well, the last time that you did a really loud one, the audio cut out. It just said it was too loud. So
Did it really? Shut up,
so
Cropper.
yeah,
Yeah, like my
exactly,
wife. Yeah,
exactly,
too loud.
exactly.
Shut up. You're
So
back in your corner.
what have we got today then? What have we got?
We have got there's similar ones to last week because I think the Somerville and the Fernandez one together. So the Somerville news came out last week, didn't it? And he seems to be adding more millions to his price than every single World Cup game that he plays.
Brilliant.
And the Matias Fernandez ones. Interesting enough, now obviously more people have joined the race with the Matias Fernandez ones. Don't surprise me. I think the same will happen with Somerville because they have been relegated and they're obviously up for sale. Now, what the reports are is that United are lining up a £120 million bid for the pair of them, which is why I wanted to bring it up this week. And when you think about it, because we rate these, don't we, about what the chances are of them happening. I think the chances are high of the pair of them happening if United get a move on and can get it done. I know with Somerville being away for the World Cup, it's going to be more difficult. The Matis Fernandez one, with especially Spurs being linked with him now, because Spurs are pushing for everyone that United are looking at as well. I don't know if you noticed that.
Mm.
Like Tonali as well. Don't know where they've just got this ambition from, but worrying for me, that one, because if United don't get it over the line soon, he could just commit to one of those ones. So thoughts on them two together? 120 million, Nathan?
Well, the first thing is that we've got a little bit of a feature coming up towards the end of the show, so stick around for that, which is talking about missing out on targets and the history of that at Manchester United over the last 30 years or so. So yeah, do stick around for that. In terms of the Mateus Fernandez and Somerville bids, 120 million. I'm going to say that those valuations, I think they're probably valuing Somerville at 40 and then Fernandez at 80 on that. That's what I'm saying for those. Somerville in the last two games, as we're recording now, he's had, I think it's 2 goals and 1 assist in the last 2 games for the Netherlands, and he hasn't even been starting either. So he's been coming off
No.
a bench and showing this type of impact. For me, I'm still skeptical about him as a player for Manchester United. He's got a whiff of the Memphis Depay's about him in that I think I think he'll be good on his day, but I just don't think he'll be up to scratch when it comes to playing for United and being a starter permanently. Also, who's he going to replace? I just don't.
Mm.
I'm not entirely sure. The Mateus Fernandez thing with Spurs. Spurs cannot, like us last season, Spurs cannot afford to be down in the doldrums like they were this season, almost relegated. So they're gonna go big. They're gonna spend a lot of money this summer. And all of this stuff, oh, they've agreed terms with Tonali, they've agreed terms with Mateus Fernandez. They I think that's all stories from agents to basically kick the hornet's nest of the transfer window and just wait to see who else comes in. Um, but fair play to him if they do get those 2 players over the line. Fantastic. If Mateus Fernandez doesn't want to go to Manchester United and would rather go to Spurs, then so be it. Off you go, mate. You know. But Laurie Whitwell of the Athletic this morning mentioned that yes, there is fierce competition, but there was last season for Matthias Cunha, there was for Brian Mbuemo, there was for Benjamin Sesko, and they still got those deals over the line. So it's not something that I feel that we need to be worried about right now. And if those players don't want to go to Manchester United, then those players don't want to go to Manchester United. They're not what we wanted in the first place.
Do you feel the sticking point is the price? Oh, because from what I'm reading, it's nothing to do with the player. He's quite happy to join United. But if United aren't willing to stump up the money that West Ham are, that want, and Spurs are willing to do it, then it leaves the player no option, does it?
I think it's more to do with the fact that United have a valuation for all of those players, for any player that they're going for, and there's a ceiling to it. And once they hit that ceiling, they don't want to go any further. So then that's when it comes down to negotiations. You don't just go, especially in football, you don't just go to the club and go, "Oh, how much do you want him? How much are you selling him for? 100 mil. All right, here you go. Here's 100 mil." You don't do that. There has to be some sort of negotiations with it. West Ham are not in a great position. They'll want to maximise how much money they can get. It's just They want to get as much as possible and create a bidding war, because that suits them down to the ground. They're in the Championship next season, so it's not like they can sell players during the season. It's not like they can wait to strengthen. They need money soon so that they can go and build a Championship squad that can potentially
Mm.
stay up next season. So let's see how that one pans out. I'm not too worried about it. I've seen some corners of the internet going mental because Man United haven't actually made a signing yet. Even Ederson, you know,
Mm.
because they haven't made a signing yet, they're losing their minds. But it's not something that I'm getting upset about just yet. It's a process, and we'll just have to wait.
Yeah, it's always more difficult a World Cup year, isn't it? So,
Exactly.
speaking of the World Cup, a man that is popped up on my feed and in the news that United have been linked with before, another centre midfielder, Felix Nmecha,
Yeah.
Borussia Dortmund centre midfielder, and for Germany, he really is shining this year. He looks a class player, big lad, technically brilliant. Wraps the ball into that forward, didn't he, for that goal? It's a great ball
I do.
into him that for the goal for Germany. Started at City, if you knew that, Nick. I
Yeah,
don't know if you knew that.
I did. Yeah.
And then moved to Dortmund and seems to be lighting up the Bundesliga. So yeah, another one they've been linked with. The price that they're saying is 50 million, but we know that the press like to do this with United. We're in the market for a centre midfielder, and they do put names out there. But I seem to remember 12 months ago, 6 months ago, he was also linked to United. Obviously looked at him. Thoughts
Yeah.
on that one?
I mean, yeah, I can see that being done. What I can see United doing is looking at savvy moves in the transfer market now. They know that the marketplace is completely inflated on prices for these players, and they know that it's going to be like bidding wars left, right, and centre. So that could be a player that ends up moving up. Nmecha could move up on the list of potential signings, especially if anything happens with Tonali, if anything happens with Chouameni. Apparently, United is still in for him as well. And
Yeah.
if anything happens with Mateus Fernandes seems to have moved into the number one midfielder position now. It seems to be the person that they want to get over the line, and then they'll put players around him. I still think Carlos Baliba is another one that you need to look at, but yeah, Nmecha, I think he could be a decent one. But then again, we were linked to Angelo Stiller, and then that's gone quiet. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That
Yep.
that's We'll be linked, and this is what I have to say to like fellow Manchester United fans, because it happens every season. We get caught up in it, and it's great. Like, it's exciting to think about who could potentially be rocking up in a Man United shirt next season. But the issue that we have is we're probably already, if you went back to end of the season to now, we've probably been linked to like 150 players. And they're not all going to come to Manchester United. And it's never just, oh, United have looked at him. It's always United have spoke to the agent, or they spoke to his camp, and he's agreed personal terms. They can't sign all of these players. So you just have to be calm. Tranquilo, you know?
Tranquilo.
Keep it,
Calm down.
yeah,
Yeah.
just keep it
I agree.
calm.
I agree. Well. So you say that, and the point is on this transfer window segment now. There's not a lot of news out there, to be honest with you. Like we said, that will be down to the World Cup. We're picking out the ones that seem to be coming to the forefront now. And like I said to you earlier as well, there's not a lot out there, which either means United are busy behind the scenes, or there's literally not a lot going on, and they're focusing on the signings that they actually want. So could go either way.
I think they're constantly moving, aren't they? I think they're always trying to get some deal over the line. It'd be gross misconduct if the people that were in charge of that to not actually do anything during these summer months, because you have to prepare it. Whether you're going to get to speak to them or do their medical before pre-season starts, that's another question. But you need to put those deals in place. So I think they're working behind the scenes, and I'd just say that people just need to have a little bit of a moment and just think, it'll get done. And then the new players
Calm
that come
down,
in,
Captain
we'll,
Mannering.
we'll be cheering them on, whoever it is. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the transfers. One transfer that I do hope Spurs get across the line is Marcus Rashford. That's the one. That's the one I'm
Just let
hoping
me
for.
know that next. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the next one I was going to move on to. Yeah, he's been linked with this morning. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I am kind of hoping Marcus Rashford goes abroad, to be honest with you, because it is one that could just come back and it could bite us in the backside. But I think as long as Marcus Rashford moves on, like we spoke about last week, I think it's good for all parties. But Spurs, they would be eligible to get him for the 40 million that we spoke about again last
Mm.
week. So I think there'll be lots of clubs who'll want him, Nathan. It's just whether he's willing to budge on his wages, and
I think
that's going to be the big sticking point.
just from that first thing that you said, and I think we've all experienced this as well, where we're thinking that as soon as he puts on that Spurs kit and he turns up at Old Trafford playing for Spurs, that he's going to score against us. Now, I do understand that, and it's the old romantics in us that makes us feel like we don't want to have our hearts broken. Seeing him in another shirt and scoring at Old Trafford, and then will he celebrate? Probably. Who knows? Once you've sold him, it's up to him. But I think we kind of think about if you just do it in a cold business fashion. And I know football should be about the warmth and like the youth players coming through and the local lads doing good and things like that. But he's made his position clear. He doesn't want to play for Manchester United anymore. Regardless of the salary that he's on, all he's thinking about is the bag. That's it. He doesn't want to play for United. He wants to play for Barcelona. Barcelona don't want to pay him because it's not just the initial fee, it's his salary that's on top of that, his weekly wages. He won't back down on it. They don't want to pay it. If Spurs want to and he's prepared to drop his wages a little bit, then so be it. Off you go. And I wish him all the best, but you can't think of it in that way. You can't be like, oh, I'd rather he went abroad. No, highest bidder, off you go.
It's a good point because basically, I've, how he got on at Aston Villa wasn't terrifying, was it? And is he going to do any better than that? He could possibly be worse than that. So yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Crack on, Marcus. Come on, Spurs, get him.
Exactly.
Another out is a man that we keep trying to sell around to everyone, don't we, Nathan? And it looks like the old Manchester United manager wants to have him back with him. So Ruben Amorim has he been confirmed as AC Milan manager? Or is it
I don't think
rumored?
I don't think it's official, but it's as good
Mm,
as, let's say that.
well, he's going with new trends. Well, the same old trends again, because a man that he wants to take with him is Manuel Ugarte, if rumours are to be believed. So, yeah, Amarim, if you do that, you've gone up a little notch in my from the way you went out. So, yeah, if it says here 15 million. Well, if we get 15 million from Manuel Ugarte to AC Milan to join Ruben Amorim, brilliant. I don't think we will, but that'd be good for us.
I just cannot see Ruben Amorim, after slagging him off, would want to take Ugarte back there. Like, what's he going to change? What's he seen in him? I watched like quite a bit of the Uruguay games at the World Cup, and like
Mm.
as much as he's able to kind of get around the pitch, I was watching him getting smashed. Was it Cape Verde they played the other night?
Yeah,
And
big
it was just
landlords, aren't they?
yeah, but he was getting battered and muscled off the ball by
Yes.
these players that they're supposed to be, and this isn't to any disrespect to them, but they're not supposed to be on the same level as these Premier League players, players in Serie A and Bundesliga, whatever it is. And he was getting bounced, and it's like, yeah, got to get this lad out, got to
Yeah,
get him out. But he
I
won't
agree.
leave. He won't want to leave. He's on a big salary as well, so he won't want to take a wage cut going to Serie A. Turkey for
Yeah.
me, that one. Ugarte, yeah,
Yes.
I can see him going to Turkey, but
Yeah.
wherever he goes, he's got to go quickly.
A man that I wouldn't really like to see the back of that is another out. Is popped up. He's Vitek. Seems
Mm.
like he wants first team football, wants to be a starter in net. He's going to struggle now with Senny Lamons, who's obviously nailed down that place. I would have liked to have seen him come in as a backup, playing the cup games, be given a run of games here and there. But it seems like he's no, I'm happy to go. He's had a taste of first team football, at Bristol, did well, and now seems to want a permanent move. But I think United are probably looking at getting about 10, 15 million for him. So it's if he does want to leave, fair play, crack on.
I've got
Be a
well,
shame.
I've got a I think he falls if he does leave. Bear in mind, it's just rumours at the moment. But if he does
Mhm.
leave, he'll fall into the same category as a Tim Howard, Ben Foster, and Dean Henderson, in that like they haven't got the balls for the fight. So if you're not got the balls for the fight, off you pop. Like I understand that you want to be playing football and that you're at a young age, but if you're being brought back to Manchester United and told this guy's going to be the number one, right, your dream when you was coming through at United was to be United's number one, wasn't it? How's that changed? Yeah, you've just gone and got some experience at Bristol City. Now come and prove that you can do it at Manchester United. Fight for that position. Do what you can to get that position. Otherwise, when you go out and you look for a another goalkeeper, you're going to get someone that's basically gone. Yeah, I'm happy to just sit on the bench. Like Carl Darlow, Sam Johnston, like the ex Manchester United. Anyway, these players that are being linked, they're already happy to in their minds sit on the bench. But if
Mm.
Vitek's got anything about him, like just go for the challenge. Go for it. If you go bigger, it's all downhill from Manchester United. You're not going to a bigger team. Like he's not going to Barcelona. He's not going to Real Madrid. It's not going to happen. So either knuckle down, fight for your place at Manchester United, and at least for a season, and try and usurp Senna Lamans, or go off and then wonder what can be for the rest of your life. That's what I would say to
Mm.
Vitek. You got the dream; it's literally within your grasp. If you leave now, it's gone. It's gone forever. United ain't coming back for you 5 years down the line. Forget it.
Mm. Yeah, it's always a difficult one with goalkeepers, isn't it? Because there is only one position in that team,
Mm.
and you can't play any other positions. It's literally nailed on there. And the managers do like to have, as is the right thing to. You have a number one, you have a backup. So if he's not learned to play backup dancer, yeah, good luck to you, sunshine, and move on.